Yes, sir.
Okay, it's our common duty to protect other human beings. And it's our common duty to use natural reason to protect other human beings. And not to use contract law and statutes and codes written by a bureaucratic government to limit our abilities to protect other human beings. So Mr. Cantor said, do we have to listen to these state laws? Well, no, you don't. Because our Declaration of Independence says we're a law of nature and nature's God. And that means that we get to use our heart to judge what is good and bad. So elected officials are elected to represent the people that elected them. We don't elect you to listen to the government in the New York State to do what they say, but what they do is they kind of threaten you, because like Jim Votor told me, the ex-sheriff of, was it Votor, the sheriff of Niagara County? Right? So he said that, Dave, I got to do what they say or they don't give me $55 million to run the sheriff's department. So the state steals our money and then bribes us back with this money. So you better adapt our codes and do what we say. But now we have an EMS issue. We have things that they call certificate of need. Well, to give the state approval to run an ambulance, you need a certificate of need to prove you need that. When you have the innate ability to protect other human beings, and you have paramedics, how many of them in the city of Lockport, to save lives? And all you need is an ambulance on the road, and you can start transporting people, because your ambulance company moved out because they were contracted to Amherst. And that's another problem too. The reason why they moved out was because of Medicaid. Medicaid is a corrupt system that doesn't hardly pay the ambulance companies nothing. They get like $300 to go on a call, when a typical operating cost of ambulance is like $1,000. And Medicaid only pays $300. Thank God for the Democrats for that. But you guys, I heard, bought 2 ambulances. So I'm willing to use my corporation, put these ambulances on the road. You guys can get an emergency certificate of need, and your volunteer or your paid firefighters can start transporting people right away. And I heard through the grapevine that Mercy Ambulance, I guess, offered you guys an $80,000 a year contract to offer their ambulances with BLS, basic medical, as long as your paramedics ride on the amp for $80,000 a year. I think that's very affordable program. But the guys at Mercy were saying that, well, they think you guys can develop a good program with developing your own EMS program, very affordable locally. But I talked to Tucker about it. I talked to McCaffrey about it. I mentioned Michelle, about the, look into a partial paid, partial volunteer fire companies, because a lot of municipalities use that, and it saves millions of dollars. Because like I said, in South Lockport and these other volunteer fire companies, these guys jump in burning houses for free. They don't get paid nothing. They spend their own money in gas. They spend their own money to get EMT certified. They do this for free. So it's a sign of the times. Your budget can't afford these high-priced union, but of course unions pay for elections. They win elections, and that creates a lot of bias and conflicts when it comes to elections. And you can't use that when it comes to saving people's lives. But this system can be fixed. You guys have no ambulance. That's causing me a problem, because if my dad has a heart attack, it lives right down the road, and South Lockport Hall 2 is right down the road from me, but the ambulance is here transporting somebody to Buffalo, my dad doesn't get service. My dad could die because of that. That's a serious issue. That's a very serious issue. These ambulances need to get on the road ASAP, so you can start transporting people immediately. I'm willing to put them on the road in my name, lease them to me, do whatever you can. I will do that so you guys can start transporting right away. Talk to Mercy EMS. Get these ambulances rolling here. This is wrong. It's been going on 6 months now. And then this fire board, or this ambulance board that was created, was there independent citizens involved with that?
There was residents on there.
How many union members opposed to residents? How many unbiased people were involved in this committee to give good advice to produce a good quality ambulance, or was there any? Because it's just hard to believe. This is something that needs to happen real quick.
The chief of South Lockport, who is a resident of the city, was on there.
Okay.
The director of emergency management services from the county, who was elected by appointed by Republicans, was on there.
Mm-hmm.
And there were multiple people on there that had no linkage to unions.
Yeah, I'm not privy to it. I wasn't aware of the meetings that were going. I'm not sure if everybody's allowed to go to these meetings. I would really advise them to.
The press was at those meetings.
Yeah, but it's just wrong that nothing's done yet. And they have emergency certificate needs you can get right away.
We understand all that.
And get these ambulances on the road. So I don't understand what's going on.
In fact, I find it rather ironic that our Republican-led county legislature just put 4 paid ambulances on the road, but we, as a common council, can't act to put ambulances on the road to save our citizens. There's something wrong here.
Okay.
This is where,
All right, we're done.
State laws don't mean nothing, because you have ability to use common sense. And you need to ignore this stuff, and because the state is not looking out for the best of our interests. Thank you.
Margaret Lupo, 17 Bobolink Lane. I'd like to first talk about the fire truck that you denied purchase of tonight. You did approve money for the F&M building and the Harrison Square, and you need equipment should anything ever happen in those buildings to work, to be able to get people off the upper floors. If you have a 25-year-old fire truck and it's in decaying condition, I would be concerned about that. And I think that it's your job to supply all of your departments the tools they need to run the department effectively. And houses are selling in Lockport at a very fast rate. Look around. They're selling for a lot of money still, even with some hikes in the interest rate. It's hard to find a house. It's hard to find an apartment here. People are moving in here. They're spending money. I really don't understand why we keep pounding on the Lockport is not a good city thing, because it is. I try and find somewhere to live. And if you're moving here, a new resident would probably be very alarmed to realize the condition of our safety here. It's not acceptable. And it feels to me a little bit like some people on this council are carrying an agenda that's gone on for 20 years. And I don't see any other departments here taking this kind of a beating. It's unfair and it's unacceptable to me as a taxpayer. I don't anymore have any family members at the fire department, but I do care about them. And if they have to go fight fires, and there's no ambulance there to transport a wounded firefighter to a hospital, that's concerning. And also, it's concerning to me to think of our police officers who every day put their lives in danger, and should they have to wait, an hour for an ambulance. And it has happened before. We've had police officers in the city be very wounded, and we need to take care of them. We have schools full of children, and we live in a violent society. It's a fact. Read the paper. I know people don't like to, but there's news every day of things that could happen. And I would hate to see us scrambling for an ambulance or a fire truck to get to a school full of children. So I am here to tell you, not every citizen is against spending money for public safety. It's why we have government, I think, for the safety and well-being of the community. You're not developers. You're here to spend the money wisely, and you're just continuously denying to fund a department is ridiculous.
The last, I don't know, but I'm insulted. I am very insulted. If something happens in this city, and maybe one of your family members, I know you look like you're disinterested. You ain't paying attention to nobody.
I am paying
But
attention.
anyways,
Don't call people out,
But
please.
anyways, I'm saying, I hope if something happens to anybody in this city, I hope they sue each one of you that voted against everything that helped them to be safe. Their well-being, something happens to their family member or something like that, I hope they sue you guys. Because you know what? This is the easiest thing for you to vote for. This didn't even make no sense. This is garbage. It really is. It's sad. And I'm very sad about it. I am. I am so disappointed. Like I said, try doing some things to help this community grow and be friendlier and make it so that people want to come here and stay here and live here and enjoy the place. What you're doing right now don't even make any sense. You can't do nothing about the fire department. This guy here's talking, he don't even live in the city of Lockport. He don't live here. We do, and we don't mind paying the taxes. I pay the taxes. I'm retired. I have limited amount of funds. I don't mind it, okay? And if we're telling you we don't mind it, what is y'all problem? What is the issue? What is the issue is what I want to know. What is the holdup in this place? Who is it? What is it? I don't know. And I'm like saying for common council, these are common things. It makes common sense. But you're making everything hard. You got the fire department. We have the fire department. We have a paid fire department. They're not going anywhere. The judge, the courts already voted to bring them back. We got them back. We inherited them. We got them. There ain't nothing you can do about it, okay? So now that you have them, utilize them and make everything safe for them. Make things safe. It could be your kid. It could be one of your kids or your mother or your father, or somebody in your family. You know, you guys are just removed. If you're removed from it, move someplace. Move. That's what I say. But I'm just saying, this don't even make no sense. And I don't care. You got people that have their own companies. Don't you want somebody to come and help you if something happens to your company? Like you said, you seen that big old fire? That don't make no sense. And you guys are sitting here talking about no ladder? Not even the, what? I'm sorry, this is unbelievable. I'm done with it.
Just for the record, Alderman Devine and myself voted for the ladder truck.
Yeah.
We voted to keep Lockport safe.
Okay, hold.
All right, that's enough, that's enough.
No, wait, Luke wants to say
Hang on,
something.
if I may,
No,
if
I
I
know.
may, can I?
Yeah.
And this is exactly why I voted the way I voted. Right? We have a current ladder truck that we just, Chief Luke, I think you're doing an awesome job. I'll put it on record right now, okay? We just approved over $700,000 for a used pumper and
new pumper.
ladder
Brand new
truck
pumper.
and
Brand new
whatever.
pumper and a
okay,
used
brand new
ladder.
pumper and truck. So we have current equipment that works. So it's not like everybody's lives are in danger and we don't have stuff to adequately do things. We do have equipment right now that can work and save people's lives, and that's awesome. And we have very qualified guys and gals. They're awesome. They do a good job. Okay, that going on right there. It seems like everything is constantly quick, last minute push, or you're going to kill people, and I don't like that. I don't. You know, another thing is that this current truck is going to last for a significant amount of years. And yeah, thank God we do have that mutual aid. We have volunteers right down the road that are helping out. We'll help them out. They'll help us out. That's how you do it. You scratch each other's backs, right? Do we rely on them for that? No. We should have our own, which we do. That is one of the things. Also, we're waiting on the information for the ambulance. That keeps coming up. Mark, Paul, we were talking about with stuff in the police department before on different things that they needed as well for possible merge of everything on a bond and a public safety bond. That's why I voted no. I don't know. What if the Freed Maxick stuff comes back tomorrow and says, yeah, it's feasible, we got to make this happen now? Okay, good. So now we roll everything together in a public safety bond and we figure out what's going on. I wish a lot of folks would pay attention to all of the potential stuff behind the scenes like that, and rather than pointing fingers out and saying, I hope it's not your family that, you know, some shit happens to. Excuse my language. But that's not okay. That's not,
Luke, to answer
there's
your
a
question,
lot more
and
that
I-
goes into that.
and I'm not trying to stir the pot, but at the very minimum, by us not acting on the ladder truck resolution tonight, just cost the taxpayers $70,000. This was important.
You know, we're spending $1.7 million. So I think $70,000 is nothing to scoff at. but 1.7 million is a lot more.
If you're a
So that's-
taxpayer,
And
70,000 is a lot of
potentially
money.
$250,000, but
I,
yeah.
I understand. Also, we'll be able to sell. And so here's another thing, right? If we take a look at, maybe we find a 5-year-old truck or a 7-year-old truck that's awesome and that we can use. Well, then we use the selling of the current ladder truck, right? We use the selling of the new ladder truck that's potential in there. We use some of the fund balance money so that we're not bonding so much. I talked about that when we were back in finance. Said, why are we not using, potentially using some of that money, and now we're only bonding for $700,000, I don't know. I just don't want to keep, and also talked about the fact that it seems like, we need to make sure that there's inventory on everything and that the inventory is set so that it's not, now we got to buy 10 vehicles that are all broken at the same time. Yes, we have to think ahead, but we have to stagger that kind of stuff.
And that's what we're working on.
It's not just me being difficult and voting no on this, and we are working on that stuff. And again, last thing I want to be is difficult and cross my arms and say I'm not voting for this because I'm not voting for this. But that's the reasoning why I voted. So just so everybody knows. So, I think that's common sense.
We're not actually bonding. We were not actually bonding for 1.7 million tonight. And if you needed to do other bonding with it, it was explained that we could package that together and do a bond anticipation note. You can put it together. As it gets together, we have up to 10 years to do something or not do something with the money. We do it when we do the sewer work. We did a bond. We agreed that we would cover the cost of a project, but we're getting grants, we're getting other things, we're not taking out that full amount. So this wasn't actually bonding the actual amount tonight, it was making a commitment to pay for the truck.
Back in
But Madam
finance,
Mayor-
wasn't it specific, this bond was specifically just for a truck?
Yes,
and only
yes,
the truck and
this
nothing
bond,
else?
but it could be packaged with others, it wasn't like you were stuck with it.
No, and so that was another thing is that
But you
in
weren't gonna
finance it was
spend that,
said
you
only
guys were
this.
asking that, because you didn't want it to go towards other projects, and I was saying, this is earmarked for that truck. But it doesn't mean that you can't add other bonds, like the whatever safety bond that Luke is talking about. It's not a one or the other.
When we,
thing.
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, when we were back there, I said when we are signing a purchase requisition for this truck, right now, this is buying the truck, yes.
Yes,
And that bond is for only this truck, yes. Okay,
Yes.
so that's us buying the truck, that's not us potentially bonding.
no,
out for-
I'm saying, the way you purchase it would be determined at the time of delivery of the truck.
Understood.
We're just saying that we have the ability to bond. It's like having a credit card with a limit of $15,000. If you don't actually use that credit card, you just have the credit available to you, but you're not making any payments. You're not accruing any interest. And when it's set in, then you can pay once you actually do the purchase. But this is a potential 2-year thing. So in 2 years, when they have to purchase it for a 2-year build, then it's gonna cost $250,000.
Great. Mayor, I'm sorry, resolution number 8 is to buy a truck, is to physically buy a
Yes.
truck.
But that's how it's written up.
So that would be like me saying, yeah, I'll buy your house. Oh, no, sorry, I changed my mind.
We can't change our mind, but you can change how you purchase it.
Right.
So we're still buying it though.
Yes.
Yeah, so
You're,
that's.
you're gonna need it at some point. So my point is, and I don't mean to hold you guys. Several of us have been on that council, just like you, we've sat in your chair. You have to trust your director of finance, okay, and understand the way that it works. And $250,000 to me, $250,000 is not fiscally responsible. I'm sorry, I disagree with what you did tonight. I think you're kicking that can down the road. It's gonna cost us even more. I have a problem with that. You keep saying that you're concerned about the city's finances, okay? I came on board after deficit financing, owing the state $12 million. To this day, I do not know where that $12 million went. No one has been able to tell me where that missing money went in this city, okay? No one at the state level, no one at the county or city level, no one's been able to say where that missing money went. That wasn't when I was sitting up there, okay? We tried to be fiscally responsible also. I think it's a good idea to set money aside for emergencies like this, but you knew this was coming. If you had the chance to save that kind of money, you should have taken it, because you're not making a commitment that you can't find alternative means for down the road. You had to say yes tonight. That's just the way it works. And I'm sure Mr. Russo can tell you that. So I'm disappointed at the very least. I can tell you we're all concerned about public safety, and I'm not gonna bring up the ambulance. That'll be for next week. Thank you.
I'm deeply concerned that there may be an agenda to get rid of the fire department. I want to make a record of, one of our aldermen did tell me they
Let's
wanted
not
to
do that,
abolish
Paul.
the fire
Let's not do
department.
that, Paul.
I did it.
Adjourn the meeting.
Kathy O'Keefe, 27 Windsor Street. I just want to say, this is exactly why I came and I said what I said, because these kind of emotions come out and then, you know, no one's looking at what's really the need of the community, how we can accomplish that. You know, it all becomes emotional. It all becomes attack on the people sitting here that are doing nothing other than serving. And, you know, it just bothers me that there is not more of a push and more of an opportunity for you guys to sit down and work this out behind the scenes, figure it out, come up with a strategic plan, one that isn't throwing this person to the wolves and that person to the wolves, because any number of either side, either party can come up here and attack you. You know, they just can. So the betterment of the community is that you sort these things out and we try to figure a way forward and look at public and private partnerships, have the bonding and all of that explained prior to getting out here, because this is just gonna escalate. And the next thing you know, it's gonna be on Facebook, and you know, nobody wins. Nobody wins. At the end of the day, I believe that you are all here with a good heart and good intentions. And I believe that you see fiscal responsibility in one way and you can see it in another. But, you know, like, I wanna thank you for putting yourselves out there like this, because it is hard and it is very unfair. And, you know, it really doesn't help to lodge, you know, bad tennis balls at each other publicly, because it comes back to haunt you. I will put that out there. But
I do want to say that we can't hash this out in the
Right.
back room in private.
Right.
We are a public entity and we have to have public meetings.
Yes, you
And-
have to
and
have public.
This isn't litigation.
Right.
And this isn't.
You have to have public
personnel.
meetings. But everybody should be on the same page. Everybody should understand every part of it before it goes to a vote. Obviously, it wasn't explained in its entirety because they thought they were voting for something else entirely. They didn't understand that they could bond several things
This-
together,
we-
apparently.
I'm
That's
going to
all
end
I'm
there,
saying.
Kathy. I'm going to end you there because
Yeah.
this has been talked about for months
Mhm.
and it isn't just happened just now. So I'm going to adjourn the meeting.